Hi everyone, Keith here. Hey, just wanted to let everybody know I have an apology to give out because I've come across some information that the quote filings that I've been filing um, have been done in error, and I wanted to talk to you about that real quick because I came across this information doing some research on YouTube, and it's a specific video. It's about 40 minutes long, and if you want to comprehend this stuff, I strongly suggest that you watch this video. And when you get to YouTube, type in "man on the land" and "Secretary of State." Very good video. Basically, what it told me is that I've been doing things a little wrong, and which is no problem. It's still quite fixable and quite easy to attain. That my standing and status and everything be proper. And what it is I realized that my notices, my witness, and the procedure that I took to do this was in error. And what I should have been doing is filing affidavits of fact, which would have been signed and stamped by the notary public and then sent certified mail. And I say sent certified mail because many of us know that when we go into court, that judge just lays down his gavel and la, 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 if you try to argue anything. And basically, why that is, think about it this way. Um, he's trying to get money out of you, and you don't want him to get that money. He's trying to pay for his job. He wants to get paid for doing this, to administrate in the matters of a contract that was originated by an officer of the law or a peace officer or whatever you want to call them. And basically, what they are is policy enforcers. And they're called policy enforcers because if you committed no crime and they're subjecting you to these courts through these contracts, these tickets that they give you, then those are all just policies and codes and statutes and rules and regulations. And the best way I explain this is that policy can only be enforced until it's rejected. And I use the analogy of my trip to Walmart one time where I went in and I made a purchase. I saw the clerk. I paid her Federal Reserve notes, and she gave me a receipt for that and put all my stuff in a bag, and I started walking out. As I walked out, a policy enforcer, an employee of the Walmart Corporation, approached me and asked to see my receipt and my products, the items that I had purchased. Now, at that point, I had broken no laws and still hadn't broken any laws after that. It was just a matter of policy. It wasn't my policy, it was their policy. And she was trying to enforce that. Now, since I'd broken no law, um, I just said no thanks and just kept on walking. And that's the way I want people to start thinking about these courts. Because all they're doing is trying to enforce policy. And all you got to do is say no thanks. And a lot of us don't see it as that easy. And a lot of us can't even carry it out that easy, even though we know that's how easy it is. We get so emotional or dumbfounded sometimes by the language they use or the way they use it, and in the aggressive manner when you try to argue something. And shut up! Blah, blah, blah. I'll hold you in contempt. I'll throw you in jail. All their harassment, intimidation, threats, um, brutalization, murder. They have no right to do that. And basically what it is, the notary public has a commission, and that commission is given by the state, or the Secretary of State. Now, the Secretary of State is the President's Chief of Foreign Affairs. Now you say, wait a minute, foreign affairs? What's that got to do with me? Well, if you're an American national, if you were born on the land of America, and you are not a United States citizen, you are not a state citizen of whatever state you reside in, you're not a public employee that carries that status, then you're not part of their jurisdiction. And they know this. They know this. And so, in order for you to carry any weight in their court, you have to do it properly. And that proper way is, like I said, affidavits of truth, signed and stamped by a notary public, and either presented in person or through certified mail. I don't ever want to go into court because I get nervous, and I'm one of those emotional guys, things like that, and I'll get angry and start calling names, blah, blah, blah. It's not a good scene. It's not a good scene. But as a man on the land, your jurisdiction is common law, which is foreign to their state codes and statutes and rules and regulations and policies. And that's why the courts don't want to help you, because you're a foreigner. Now, the common law man or woman has jurisdiction in a court of record. In other words, that record is kept, and it is kept immemorial. It is time everlasting. When you're doing all these signatures for these courts here under this corporation of United States of America, you're signing contracts. Now, contracts have a limited time. They can only last so long. They can't enforce them, particularly after you're dead. You know, that's for damn sure. I don't understand all of it yet, but I know contracts aren't everlasting. Another thing I want to talk about is the thing called HJR 192. It is something that came about way back in 1933 when they got rid of all the gold, when they required everybody to give all their gold back. And basically what it did was it turned crime into commerce. Made everything made all their actions a public policy. And again, like I said, that public policy is just a policy. It can't be enforced if somebody rejects it. Now, when you talk about their jurisdiction and their tickets, that officer gave you a ticket and you signed it, whether you signed it with just your name or signed it with UCC 1-308, UCC 1-207 and all that, I don't know. But it's still just a contract, and it can't be ever binding. And there's always a remedy or recourse for it, and that's called your mind and knowledge. And part of that knowledge is that they cannot come back and amend that contract. When that officer pulls you over and gives you that contract, that ticket for invalid plates and registration and failure to provide proof of insurance, and you go to court on it, he can't come back at a later time. Oh, wait a minute. I need to give him this contract. I need to have him sign this ticket for possession of marijuana or possession of open container or this or that. He cannot do that. They will not enforce that. They know that's just idiocy. It's in their own rules. But you can amend it. How do you amend that? With that affidavit of facts. Affidavit of facts. And then you make requirements. Basic requirement would be, of course, full and complete disclosure of all facts. And what you do is you make your affidavit of facts stating that whatever it is, you know, the notices that I've been giving are in fact going to be combined and rewritten so that I can use that as my affidavit of facts, because they are in fact notices of facts that I gave them. I just called them something different, filed them different, and had a different witness. But they are in fact an affidavit of fact. just not accepted by their jurisdiction because I'm a foreigner and I gotta follow their rules in their jurisdiction. So I'll do that. I'll do that. Um, but their rules are limited as well because my affidavit of fact is blatantly going to be a rejection of their rules, policy, and all that. Simply by that requirement of full and complete disclosure, which they will not give. The reason they won't give that is because they have to admit that the United States courts are corporation and that the tickets are actually contracts and not binding by law, this and that. Um, so I expect that those of you that are willing to comprehend this and learn this and follow this up will use it to your best advantage and pass it along. Please. I'm not going to charge anything for any of this. This is all public knowledge that I've gotten free, and I'm going to pass it on for free, just like many of us do. And remember, people, like I said, when I go into courts, I get emotional and things don't always go right. I'm getting better at it, but I still prefer to do this stuff outside of the court through certified mail um, from here on out. That's one thing that's come to light in my mind. Um, so please, use this stuff to the best of your ability, but do it right and pass it along. Um, when they made that contract and had you sign it, that's the crime. Um, they signed that contract saying that you did something, and therefore they're going to charge you. They're going to fine you. They're going to force you to commit an act of commerce through this contract by handing over that monetary value, which we worked hard to get. And when in fact they're the ones that broke the law. Crime, defined, is an act that causes a person to suffer harm or injury to their body or to suffer loss or damage to their property. So when that officer pulled me over and I refused his policy, I rejected his policy, he committed the crime by breaking out my window. He caused me damage to my property. And then under threat and duration or duress of being physically harmed, caused me to give up my property so that they could take possession of my property, and then restrained my person and removed my person and imprisoned my person. And to this day that goes on. They will do it at every turn if you let them. All you have to do is reject it knowingly, with knowledge. And so I ask people to please do this. It's for your own good. It's for my own good. It's for your neighbor's own good. It's for everybody's own good as mankind. This, what they're doing with this crime is commercial, is bullshit. And we need to quit putting up with it. They're fucking Walmart. They're fucking Walmart. They're working for a McPaycheck. I love y'all. God bless.